The psychology of scarcity, why limited things feel more valuable than they are. Imagine walking past two shops. One displays racks of shoes overflowing with options. The other has a sign that reads, "Only 3 pairs left, limited edition." Which one pulls you in first? Most people gravitate toward the second. That's the power of scarcity. When something feels rare or limited, it instantly becomes more desirable, more urgent, and more valuable, even if the product itself isn't objectively better. This psychological bias isn't just a marketing trick. It's rooted deep in how our brains work. In this article, we'll explore the fascinating science behind the psychology of scarcity, how it manipulates your thoughts and behavior, and why it's so effective in everything from sales to social relationships. By the end, you'll never see "only a few left in stock" the same way again. What is the scarcity principle? The scarcity principle is a psychological phenomenon where people place higher value on items that are perceived as limited in availability. The more difficult something is to obtain, the more we assume it must be worth having. This principle is used in nearly every domain of life. Retail and e-commerce, last chance sale, only 2 left, or limited edition prompts. Dating and relationships, playing hard to get can actually increase perceived value. Social media, exclusive invites or follower-only content triggers curiosity and desire. Time-sensitive offers, deadlines make people act fast to avoid missing out. We aren't just reacting emotionally, our brains are wired to respond this way. But why? Why does scarcity affect us so strongly? 1. Evolutionary roots. From an evolutionary standpoint, scarcity once meant survival. Food, water, and resources were limited. If something was rare, it was valuable. That instinct still drives our decisions today, even when we're shopping for a new phone instead of hunting for food. 2. Fear of missing out, FOMO. The modern version of survival instinct is FOMO, or the fear of missing out. The idea that others might get something we can't have drives us to make irrational decisions. You may buy a product you don't need just because the deal ends at midnight. 3. Loss aversion. Psychologists have proven we feel the pain of loss more intensely than the joy of gain. Scarcity activates this fear. What if it's gone tomorrow? Making us more likely to act impulsively to avoid that regret. Real-life examples of scarcity at work. Limited edition products. Brands like Nike, Supreme, and luxury watchmakers thrive on the psychology of scarcity. They release limited edition drops, knowing that the reduced quantity creates a sense of exclusivity. People camp out for hours or refresh pages obsessively, all for the chance to own something rare. Countdown timers. Ever noticed a ticking clock on a website urging you to buy now before the deal ends? That's a direct application of time-based scarcity. Even if the product isn't special, the pressure to act fast makes it feel more valuable. Sold-out strategy. Restaurants and stores sometimes leave items labeled "sold out" on purpose. This tactic signals popularity and high demand, subtly suggesting that the item is so good, it couldn't stay on the shelf. This drives curiosity and future demand. The social side of scarcity. Scarcity isn't limited to products. It deeply influences how we view people. Exclusive friendships or invitations. If someone is hard to access, doesn't reply often, or appears busy, we tend to assume they're important or high status. We chase after people who are hard to get, not because of who they are, but because our minds equate inaccessibility with value. Attention economy. In the age of social media, your attention is the most precious commodity. Influencers and platforms use scarcity tactics, like limited stories, disappearing messages, and follower-only content, to keep you hooked. You keep coming back because you fear missing out on something rare. Scarcity clouds our judgment. Here's the catch: scarcity can make us irrational. In studies, participants consistently rated the same cookies as tastier when they were offered fewer of them. The cookies didn't change, the perception did. Scarcity increases our emotional reaction, reduces critical thinking, and increases impulsive behavior. It makes us skip due diligence and act before thinking. This can lead to regretful purchases, toxic relationships, and poor long-term decisions. How to avoid being manipulated by scarcity. Scarcity is powerful, but you can learn to recognize and resist it. 1. Pause before you act. The moment you feel urgency, pause. Ask yourself, would I still want this if it were widely available? 2. Question the source. Is the scarcity real or manufactured? Many online shops artificially display "only 1 left in stock," even when they have more. It's a manipulation tactic. 3. Focus on value, not availability. Shift your mindset. Instead of asking, "Will I miss this deal?" ask, Does this bring lasting value to my life? 4. Know your triggers. If you're someone who often buys impulsively or chases unavailable people, reflect on the deeper psychological needs driving that behavior, like a desire for validation or fear of being left out. When scarcity can be a good thing, not all scarcity is harmful. When used ethically, it can encourage fast decisions for genuine deals, reward loyal customers with exclusive access, create meaningful experiences through limited opportunities. In relationships, setting boundaries and not being constantly available can actually create deeper respect and appreciation, if it's authentic, not manipulative. Final thoughts. Scarcity is a mirror. The psychology of scarcity reveals more than how we shop or interact. It shows us what we fear, desire, and value. Scarcity doesn't create importance. It reflects it. The next time something seems irresistible simply because it's limited, ask yourself, do I want this, or do I just not want to miss it? Once you understand how scarcity shapes your behavior, you gain the power to choose wisely, whether you're clicking buy now or texting someone back.